Hi, I'm Tonja Walker, and welcome to One Day to Love. Los Angeles-based celebrity fitness trainer Michael Torchia has spent decades sculpting the bodies of Hollywood stars like Matt Damon, Al Pacino, Kim Cattrall, Joe Mantegna, Keith Urban, Lionel Richie, many people. But now he is shifting his focus from Hollywood's elite to a cause closer to his heart, the health and well-being of America's children. I asked him if he'd reached out to Robert Kennedy Jr., and it turns out that he has. He just got back from Mar-a-Lago and meeting with President Trump and his people. And we're going to talk to him about what he is going to do, hopefully, with his new initiative. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Hi, Michael. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. I just told everybody who you are and what you've been up to, and everybody's excited. Everybody's excited, especially me, about being able to have you on the show today.
It's my pleasure to be on the show finally.
Thanks. Thank you. I know it's been a while. I met you through Sean Kanan and his wife Michelle, and just so everybody knows, and it's just really nice to meet you. But you've been so busy, we haven't even gotten a chance to really talk much.
Yeah, well, Michelle and Sean, they kept me busy. We were shooting a series. It's a detective series. Can't share too much about it yet, but I played the mob boss in it.
I know that's my old part. You're taking over my position there. That's what I played on One Life to Live and General Hospital. Can you believe it? Do I look like a mobster? I don't think so. But I always end up with that role or married to it, one or the other.
Well, it actually was fun. I mean, being Italian and from New York, it
It's
was
always fun.
yeah. So I was just having fun, and the lines were giving people a hard time, and
Of
I was
course.
like, there's
That's
one.
fun too.
The guy was like an Irish guy that was giving me a hard time, and he's like, "Hey, can we hurry up and start the game because I'm hungry?" And I said, "I'm always hungry." But it's like I felt like I was talking to my cousins, I said, "This is not act."
Totally natural on your part.
Yeah, no, come
Great.
on.
Yeah. What are you not hungry? Huh? I love it.
But it's like, when Italians have like holiday get-togethers, right? It's like we're always talking loud, we're moving our hands, looking around, making faces. What's this? And so the scene, which was so funny, I had gotten about 7 pages of dialogue for the first day.
That's a lot for you. That's a lot for a show like that.
Yeah, but it was like kind of like fun one-liners. Okay. So then I go to the set and we do the table reading, and everybody starts rehearsing lines. And so they go, Bobby. I go, yeah, that's my character's name. You need to say the line. I go, what line? I'm not. I'm later on down on that first page. No, no, no. You're now. Oh, you didn't get the new sides.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to
So
the business.
I,
Yeah.
I guess in your business it's something that's
Yeah.
common.
Hmm.
So I had like 10 minutes to memorize it. But again, it was more like me thinking, hey, I'm with my buddies. Let's break each other's chops a little bit, have some fun. So I worked through it. But I found it quite interesting because I've heard actors in the past during interviews where they did rewrites. Now I know the pressure you're under because I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this right. I can't disappoint Michelle and Sean or the other actors, right? And to me, I took the pressure on thinking that I don't want them be thrown off.
Yeah, and you're your friends.
Friends, right?
Not
Yes.
just a job for you. It's you're working for your friends.
Yeah. So good thing it's not like where I had to have an accent or pretend I'm being something else but an Italian guy.
You got your own accent there, baby. You got your own accent.
And it's so funny. It's like, so I did that, and then all of a sudden I got contacted by this producer. He wants me to be a gypsy kind of elder. I go, with a New York accent. You can have me as a gypsy? I don't know. Would you thought I said, no,
Yeah.
I said, could you give me another type of nationality? Do I sound like a gypsy? You know,
I don't know where he thinks the gypsies are
I have no
from.
idea, but I'm having fun with it. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely passing. I only want to do things that to me is for fun. It's not for monetary gain. It's to do something interesting and fun. And when I was younger, I was in the Actors Guild and Screen Actors Guild and after, and I did a lot of commercials and I did kind of one-liners here and there, some commercials. So I can carry a little bit. I can't do a lot like you do with the soap operas. Oh my God, all those pages you got to remember. So I don't want to make it a job. I want to do it once in a while. It's a fun experience.
Sure, why not?
Rather leave it to professionals like you that studied all your life and
Mhm.
you have that passion to be in front of the camera.
Mhm.
The only time I want to be in the camera is like my podcast. That's it. Or, talking to people
Tell
like you.
everybody about your podcast because I don't know if everybody knows about that.
Okay, so about 7 months ago, I launched a podcast called Live Well and Thrive.
Mhm.
And that's been my kind of attitude towards life, to live well and thrive in every aspect. So it's not just where you're going to go and see my show and think, oh, I'm going to learn about how to build muscle or to burn fat. You will get that too, but you're going to learn about psychological health. You're going to learn about how the body works as far as like when you see something that's, say, troubling, your body will start secreting the bad hormones, which are considered cortisol, right? And
Mhm.
cortisol causes um, lower tummy fat, the chin fat, armpit around this area for women where the bra strap is, where it bubbles out. That in the lower back and side waist, what they call muffin top, is
That's
caused
for cortisol?
cortisol. The cortisol hormone, when that's released, it's like a stress release hormone, and you panic that it starts distributing fat in certain areas of the body, which is very troubling. So there's various different ways to counteract that hormone reaction. There's like phosphatidylserine. It's a supplement to actually block it from being secreted so highly. Also, there's other things you can do through biohacking, like red light therapy, which can help you.
I'm
Um,
sorry, you have to say that again because my phone went off.
oh, okay. So like, there's red light therapy. It's a type of. It's
You
actually.
told me about the red life
It
therapy.
it
You
is
told me about
absolutely
this. I've got to do this.
game changing. It actually helps melt the fat within the fat cell. It tightens the skin. It
Wow.
stimulates the production. So the collagen is responsible for the smooth lines and not to have the wrinkly look.
Yeah.
And it stimulates to heal your organs.
How long does it take though before it really you can
12 minutes,
no,
three
but
times
until you
a
can
week.
see results from it.
Yeah, so you do 12 minutes, 3 times a week for about 6 to 8 weeks. And
Okay.
you will see and feel so much better. Less joint pain, the skin gets tighter, your skin and your face, or your whole face looks more vibrant. It
Oh,
stimulates the hair follicles, it gets thicker and
that's
stronger.
why they wear those baseball hats with the red lights in them on those
Well,
commercials.
I was not, well, actually, the red light bed, the way it's designed, it's like got like this kind of half moon shape on top and the bottom. So it's made so you're getting the red light therapy throughout the whole body.
Wow.
That's how it can heal the organs.
That must be
So
expensive though, isn't it expensive?
no, it's not. Well, if you buy the bed, sure, it's like 75K. But if
Yeah.
you go there, it's nominal. And
Oh,
you have place that you can pay unlimited amount, open 24/7. You have your code, get in, and it's like nothing. It's like $300 a
I wish
month.
they had one of those in the desert. I could really use that.
It is. It's eventually. I'll let you know. If it has to be put in hotels and other properties and med spas because it is so healing and so inexpensive.
And it
So on the
works.
show, you'll learn about cold plunge. Now, cold plunge, when used in moderation, it's great.
Yeah.
If you use it,
I think I'd rather walk in front of a truck.
all
Uh,
right. Listen, I-
I live in
the,
Palm Desert because I like it hot. I don't like
let me
cold
put it this way.
anything. Cold nothing. I don't want
I'm on the same page as you.
yeah, cold no. No,
You
no.
don't need to go into 30-degree ice tub. All you have to do is when you're taking a shower,
Right. Turn it on.
just for, seriously, just for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, make it as cold as possible. It'll be a chilly, but it resets your your clock, especially if you
I've heard that. I've read that. I've heard that.
it really works. So that's as cold as I'm gonna do is to the closest to the cold
A friend
plunge.
of mine sent me something the other day where she was walking into an ice. It looked like a shower that was freezing cold, and she went in there, and you could see through the door, and she was like this. And I was like, why? It's just, I know it's good for you, but it doesn't look like it's good for you. It
Well,
looks
no, you know what?
like
Here's the thing is, see, because if you do it infrequently, it'll stimulate your body to produce the more brown fat, which burns the adipose tissue on your body. But the problem is, if you do too much, your body then starts to compensate for it.
ah,
Then you have issues.
yeah,
And people have been getting very sick,
uh-huh.
not feeling well. Their body is being shocked all the time, shocked all the time, shocked all the time. So if you do it once in a while, it's good for like a little bit of a jolt. Fine. But when people start doing it excessively, that's when you start having health issues. Like, for instance, there was this mad rush that everybody wanted to lose weight so quickly. So what do? Intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting, let me explain how that works. It's like, say you take in 2,000 calories a day, just hypothetical for a man, okay? Taking in 2,000 calories. If you intermittent fasting, and now during the week, so say you have a whole week of calories, that's 14,000 calories in 7 days, okay? If you now say 3 days out of that week, you deprive your body of 6,000 calories. Okay. You minus that from the 14,000 calories, right? And then you figure, okay, well, let me see. That's like 8,000 calories you have for the week instead of have 14,000. Well, it's just caloric restriction. So you can get the same effect by saying, well, you know what? Maybe I'll have 500 calories less per day and I'll burn 500 calories through exercise. Now, you never have to starve yourself, go through headaches and feeling weak and faint.
Mm.
And when you exercise, you have be more empowered. You have the glycogen, you have all the protein you need, and you won't get those lags. Because when you intermittent fasting, you feel like, whoa, God, I'm not used to this. Oh my God, in the beginning, it's hard. After a while, you get used to it. But what happens is all you have to do is just restrict your calories, not by just going 2, 3 days without eating food. Just reduce the amount of calories you're taking in and then increase your caloric expenditure. You'll get better results. Because you got to remember, when you work out on an empty stomach, you're not empowered. You're going to be weaker. You're not going to be able to move as fast. Maybe in the beginning you think you are, but after a while, it weakens the system. So I
Mhm.
tell people, instead of starving yourself and depriving yourself of food for so many hours out of the day, because if you have to survive, you have to work. You need at least 150 grams of carbohydrates for proper brain function.
Well, I
Now,
just thought intermittent fasting was if you wanted to eat between 8 hours or 6 hours or something, you eat whatever you want in this window, and then you don't eat for 12 hours to start with, then you don't eat for 14 hours to start with. And they want you to get to 16 hours. Like they want you to go to bed and not eat breakfast for a really long time. And I thought that's what intermittent fasting was.
well, people have kind of recreated their concept of what intermittent fasting is. There's different ways of doing it. There are some benefits to it once in a while, maybe give the digestive tract a rest, but people are doing it for years now. And this is what's detrimental. When you deprive your body of food, it goes into survival mode. That means it, after about 3 weeks, especially, after 21 days of doing that, the body goes, uh-oh, I have to survive on less calories. So what does it do? It starts to secrete from the thyroid reverse T3. T3 drives your metabolism to burn fat. And when you're eating less or extremely dieting, remember like when they were doing the HCG diet of like 700, 800 calories a day, whatever. Well, your body goes in survival mode after 3 weeks.
It
And
hangs on to everything.
it goes to reverse T3, meaning it's slowing down the fat burning effect, so you now can survive on less calories. So that's what happens when a lot of people start going, well, I did this for 16 hours. What if I did it for 2 or 3 days? And that's when that's that mentality, right? So
Yeah.
people, I just said, listen, it's a mathematical formula. And did you know it takes 72 hours to convert food into fat, to manufacture fat? So when people go, "Oh, I pigged out last night and I gained all that weight," that's water weight.
That's right.
That's not fat on your body. So when you arm your audience with all this information, there's no confusion. You're taking the question mark out of the equation. You know
Mhm.
exactly what you need to do. And if you feel that you want to go a day without eating or drinking water, that's another thing. Now people are doing this 3 to 5 days of no water, which is insanity. Okay, that's
I didn't
dangerous.
know that. I thought
Oh,
everybody
yeah,
was
no,
drinking
it's
water
the
by the
oh, it's a
gallon.
oh no, it's a whole thing now. In fact, there's one gentleman, he said he went without water for 30 days. But of
What?
course, he did eat some food, so there's
Like
fluid.
die.
No, but that's not healthy. You have to hydrate the body.
Of course.
So, you don't want to think of it just the purpose of burning fat because then you're going to have all the saggy skin. Your
Mhm.
collagen production is not optimal level because you're not giving your body the nutrients to manufacture the collagen.
Yeah.
It causes a chain reaction. So,
I didn't know it was a thing not to drink water. I mean,
oh no,
everybody I know is carrying these thermoses around, and they're drinking like a half a gallon of water a day.
okay, well, they're drinking distilled water, thinking that they want to drink this distilled water because it doesn't have any elements that are toxic to the body. But most of the time, if it's in a plastic container,
Mm.
then there's going to be some residual toxins anyway. If it was exposed to heat, well, because most of the plastic containers have biophenol. When you have heat or sunlight on plastics that have biophenol, it leaks into the water.
I've heard that. Yeah, that's why you
That's
have to throw
why
your water away if you leave it in the car like too long in the heat or
I
whatever.
never do that. I also, all my water is bottled glass,
Hmm.
plastic, and very particular. So, and then also too, a lot of people use these vegetable sprays, but here's the problem: the ingredient that's in that spray is derived from vegetables. That's fine, but the problem is the propellant that shoots it out of the can.
It's petroleum.
It is toxic.
Yeah.
So, me being Italian, and I started this when I was very young after I started getting to fitness. I took one of the, I went to the drugstore with my mom and she was buying the sprays and it would spritz the hair, right? I said, Mom, what if I just put some olive oil there? It's good for the body. So instead of putting, excessive amounts of oil or whatever, I would spray the pan with the olive oil and then cook my eggs. It tasted better.
Smart.
Really, it cooked better. Then I started saying, you know what? Why don't I make my Italian dressing? So I put it in another pump bottle and I put in the ingredients, uh, garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, parsley, little oregano, little lemon, red wine vinegar, and
Yeah, I
then
haven't had lunch, so I'm getting hungry.
okay. So then when you spray the dressing on your salad, you don't have to soak it.
Right, right. It's
And
very
right?
smart.
It's
It's
more
very
enjoyable, it's not soggy, it's more crisp and right.
right,
So
right.
these are the little things that people learn on my show. In
Awesome.
fact, I'm spinning off another podcast called Recipe for Health. It's a cooking show.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to invite my guests to come on and talk about what's their favorite breakfast or lunch or one of their favorite dishes, or if there's a guilt-free dessert that they've perfected. Come on the show and
I
let's
love it. I love
yeah.
that. I
And
love it.
it'll be like Rachel Ray, but healthy.
Yeah, I love that. That's
Yeah.
great. It's great.
So
So I want to move on to this. I know you have to talk to the president or whoever it is later. So I want you to tell me about I looked up it's called the President's Council for Fitness, Nutrition, and Health or something. Is that what
this
it's called?
yeah, the sports and nutrition, yeah.
Okay. And because of your commitment to fitness for children across the country and your movement into really wanting to implement something, really sincere and solid for them, um, you let people know. You wrote a letter to the president-elect and you got a good response. Is that correct?
Yeah, so over the years, I've dedicated my life to help inspiring people to make healthier food choices, to create a healthy lifestyle. When I was 14 years old, I was an obese child. I was over 50 pounds overweight. And when the school nurse told me at age 14, I need my parents to come in, and my mother ended up coming because my father didn't speak English. He was a laborer. My mom came in. She said to my mom, "Hey, if your son doesn't physically become fit and lose 50 pounds, he could end up having a stroke by the time he's 40. He's 14 now. Now, I'm 68, so think about how far advanced that nurse was, how caring that nurse was to make it a point. Now, my mother was a very strong, dominant alpha female, and my mother never showed fear. But when she said to the nurse, I'll take care of it, I know what to do. She took my hand and said, let's go. When she took my hand, this is the first time I ever felt my mother trembling, and her hands were clammy. And then that scared me because then I was a little smart ass. I was like, nah, what's she talking about? The nurse is fatter than me. So I was saying to my mom. My mom says, no, you got to take this serious. Okay. So we went home. She said, go in the living room. I'll be right back. And she got 2 glasses of water. She turned on TV and she turned on Jacqueline. And
I
that,
love Jacqueline. I love
okay,
Jacqueline.
and that's how it changed the course of my life. He
Wow.
became my mentor later on. I studied underneath him.
You
I
did?
Yeah, we became friends and friends with his son and his nephews and Elaine, his wife, that's still alive. She's 97 years old. Just
Wow.
celebrated her birthday a few months ago.
That's
So
wonderful.
I pursued the path of health and wellness. And when Jack was at the point where he's really not feeling well, it was getting to me. You could see he was at a point where he was weakening, but he still was out there in public and pushing. He said, Mike, I've been working on shaping America. I need my disciples like you to get out there. And I said, Jack, I'm going to continue on your dream. So after he had passed, I launched the Shape of America campaign and I partnered with NBC. And then what I was doing was putting on these big, massive events free to the public. And the last one I did was in Washington, D.C. We had over 2 day period, 93,000 people show up.
Oh my God.
And so it was all free. I got people that were experts in every aspect. And I have section where it's nutrition, healthy cooking, children's fitness, senior fitness, executive workouts. I mean, spiritual meditation, relaxation, cooking stations and everything. And I'm working on doing something here in one of the large outdoor malls to do a Shape of America event after the first of the year.
When was the last one you did?
It was a few years ago. I did it at Washington, D.C., and then I did one at Century City at the Westfield Mall. And
Wow.
we had about the Westfield Mall, we had about 74,000 people on a
You're
Saturday.
kidding me.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was it
So
before COVID? Was it before the pandemic?
COVID, yeah, before
Right
COVID.
before?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right before. So, my experience going into the school systems, I did a lot of work with LAUSD school system. And so I understand the menus, like for instance, the typical meal that kids get, whether it's in LA or New York or Chicago, it's $1.10.
Mm.
That's one of the things that I have to go into Senate and say we need to allocate funds to put more of a budget in so the kids can have better foods. Then also there's like Pizza Hut, McDonald's, Burger King. They have contracts with schools, and the kids are eating this processed food. That's got to stop. So when I come in, I'm bringing a team. I'm going to make sure that the PE program is updated, that it's essential that kids put priority on being physically fit just as much as their academic levels. Because what happened is during, especially COVID, when nobody was doing PE, did you know that when you exercise just for 45 minutes, you think faster and you can absorb more information 50% faster for 3 hours after
Wow.
45 minutes of exercise, which is the typical PE class.
Oh,
And what they found was that when they stopped PE in all these different schools, the academic scores went down by 38%.
oh my
So
gosh.
there's a correlation to exercise
Exactly what you said. Yeah.
because here's the thing is when you're exercising and the blood is circulating at a faster rate, it's going to the brain.
Of course.
So for 3 hours,
That makes
your
sense.
child
Yeah.
can think 50% faster and
That's right.
retain more information. So what does that translate? Higher
Smart.
academic. So
Smarter. That
health and
makes sense.
fitness and academics work together. So
Mhm.
that's what I'm going to start focusing on, that we have to keep it a priority, the physical condition of students and the quality of food They're
But
ingest.
also the taste of the food. My daughter doesn't like Michelle Obama because when Michelle Obama was in the White House and my daughter would go to her little beautiful little private school, she went to get her muffin in the kitchen, at the lunch kitchen, and they took all the good muffins out and they put in these baseballs that they called muffins that were hard and dry and awful. So my daughter doesn't like Michelle Obama because she took her breakfast from her. So whatever
Well,
they put in, they've got to put in something that tastes good.
but
She still is mad at her for taking her muffins. I mean, she's still mad about
did you know that I read in an article that Michelle Obama said it's okay once in a while to have a Twinkie?
it.
I mean, do you know there's Twinkies where they found in a package and it's been there for like 20 years
30 years ago and they're still fine.
it's not green. It's still,
I know. I know. I
But
know.
no, but here's the thing is, so you know, being Italian, when I was bodybuilding as a teenager, I was exposed to all these great foods that my parents, my
Of
grandparents
course.
cooking for me. So I re-engineered all the recipes.
Good.
Instead of frying the meatballs, I bake the meatballs. Instead of putting the bread in there, I put all kinds of fun vegetables in there with the meatballs, and they make them nice and tender and fluffy. Everything is freshly made. So when I was preparing it, it could be a chicken piccata, but instead of using the butter with the olive oil and lemon, I just omitted the butter and it became beautiful flavor, use fresh spices. So I was able to re-engineer recipes, even my grandmother's favorite chocolate fudge cake and also her New York style cheesecake. So I'm coming out with a line of desserts called guilt-free desserts.
Now this I want.
Okay,
This
now this
I
is
want.
without chemicals. This is not with
I
dangerous.
want that. I just bought 5 pies for Thanksgiving Day, and they're not good for you, and that I know that. But I don't know what else to get, so that's what we're having. But next time, if you have a recipe for me, I'll just make
Oh
it.
yeah, totally. And they're very simple to make. It's just that you just need to know the formula that I put together. And I did it over a period of time where I tried it out, make sure the right blend just worked out right. You know, like when people were using, cream, what I was putting in was avocado. The avocado made it cream. So I was using vegetables and other things that gave it.
Did it taste the same though?
Oh, you wouldn't even taste the avocado.
Really?
Yeah, I would put it in there, and people are like, "Oh my God, this is so delicious." And I go, "Did you know that I didn't put cream, I put avocado to make it creamier?" I didn't even taste it.
Oh,
Because you're putting vanilla extract, you're putting other things in there. And then what I was doing was I had this one, it was a peanut butter flavored um, a cheesecake. So in the with the fat-free cream cheese, I put in this protein powder that has a blend of egg white and whey and beef protein, and it was peanut butter and it's really delicious.
sounds wonderful.
So you don't even taste the avocado, but the avocado replaces the sour cream. You
Yeah,
see, and without that additional fat that
yeah, I get it.
and then when I would make the crust, instead of the crust being graham cracker, which is full of fat, full of sodium, full of sugar, I
So good.
took, I took, no, no, but what I did was I took wheat germ
Oh, okay.
and with um, whole eggs, and I put vanilla extract, and I put some of the natural sweetener I put in there, and then packed it down and toasted it. You don't even know it's not graham cracker.
Really?
Absolutely delicious. So when you
Okay.
eat it, it's why I call it guilt-free desserts.
All right. Well, that sounds wonderful.
So it'll be on my website. I'm going to be able to have it shipped out immediately to people's homes, FedEx or UPS. So and then also my site, I worked with Formulator to create stem cell cream to help stimulate production for the skin and be more vibrant. We're doing a shampoo and a conditioner too to help strengthen and thicken the hair. So I'm using these different ways, which they call biohacking, to create a healthier lifestyle that's not over expensive, it's not full of dangerous chemicals. It's just finding ways that are alternative solutions to living a quality life.
It's
That's why my
everything still, but it has to taste good, and it sounds like your stuff
oh
does.
no, listen, being Italian, I'm very finicky. It's got to
Yeah,
taste.
it's got to taste good. It doesn't work.
So that was the key thing. Remember years ago when they had all this? these vegan food and vegetarian food. They were disgusting. But
Oh,
now I got to tell you something.
they've got
Not
some good
that
ones.
I'll have a vegan meal. I need animal protein, but
There is
I
some,
think
there are some that are good. I mean, I
if there
did,
are right, right. There's
yeah,
some very
yeah.
good.
Somebody took me out for tofu chicken, and I thought this was going to be the grossest thing that ever happened. And it had a sauce on it similar to the buffalo sauce that they put on regular chicken, and it tasted pretty good. The consistency wasn't terrible either. And I was shocked. I was really shocked because I'm just a, I'm a country girl. I'm used to normal regular food. And I just, I was like, don't give me that crazy California tofu crap. And they're like, no, 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 you got to try it. And I'm like, all right, I'm game, but I'll tell you the truth about it. And I
Well,
like
like for instance, in West Hollywood, my buddy Craig has Craig's, right? He has a chicken parmesan that's not, it's not chicken. It is probably one of the best dishes in there. And it tastes so close to a real chicken parmesan.
really, isn't that
And it's so
something?
funny. And then I went to this other Italian restaurant that people raved about it. They make meatballs from mushrooms.
Wow.
And I got to tell you something, the consistency of it, and it was tender and fluffy. The sauce was magnificent. They used all the olive oil and garlic and all that really beautiful oregano and bay leaves. But I gotta say, it's pretty damn close to a meatball.
Pretty good.
It was
Pretty
pretty
good.
damn close. I
I-
don't think they perfected this those possible burgers, what do they call it? It looks like ugh, it's
Well,
just
they're
got
also derived from blood. People don't know that, but they do. They take the blood out of whatever it is. They take the blood out of, and they work with it and turn it into this impossible meat. But it comes from something
well,
like
but then that's process. See that I mean, you're taking it, you put into this process. Who knows what the hell's in there? You know what? I respect people's decisions if they don't want to harm animals. I understand that, but we're humans and we need to have animal protein. I'm sorry, that's what carnivores. That's what the body is. Because here's the problem: is when you're a vegetarian, you can get away with it because at least you may be taking eggs or fish or so on. When you're a vegan, you're not taking any kind of the animal fat. And what the problem is, it causes severe arthritis, severe dandruff. You get very low libido, lots of hair loss,
I didn't
hair,
know that. I did not know that.
and your sex drive is like zero, 100, zero.
Wow.
And also, your body starts having a lot of deficiencies unless you're taking supplementation to
A lot
counteract
too soon. A lot of
the animal protein. But again, I mean, people don't want to take omega-3s, the fish oil. No, I can't have that. But you're compromising your health.
I know. I
So that's why I tell people I respect. Listen, my two pit bulls are rescues. I rescued them from the Palm Desert. They were 8 weeks old, and they were just abandoned somewhere. And
oh,
I heard about that, and my dog had passed away a few months ago. But I love animals.
I know.
I have two cats running around here that I rescued in a pound. They were going to put them down.
Ugh,
Uh, it's so funny because I love cats and dogs. I grew up on a farm. And I was at this pound because I go there and I donate money and I like to talk to the dogs, right? Just right here in West LA. And these two cats had a sign, not for adoption. And so I said, why are these two cats going to be put down? That one's a kitten. That's old lady. Oh, well, they've bitten people. I go, what do you mean bitten? Well, they bit and to the point where we can't find them a home. I said, well, cats sometimes do that. But if you understand them and you teach them, they'll be fine. They said, so I had a sign saying that
they're
taking
like,
it.
well, great, you take them.
So I took the old
Let's
lady,
get Mikey.
the old lady, I took this little kitten. And I got to tell you something. They curl up with my pits. You
Oh,
know, the one time, the one, both of them a little bit. They just like with my finger. I go, no, just no, with tongue. They never did it again. Now those two cats, if I didn't walk into that pound,
they'd be dead.
they'd be dead, right? So it's being understanding and sympathetic, but you have people in there, oh, I just want a cute cat, I want a cute dog. But you don't have to understand, they're not perfect. They're gonna pee and they're gonna chew up your shoes. They're gonna,
You have to
right?
train them.
It just happens. It's life.
You have
But
to.
if you're gonna bring it back because, oh, it chewed up your shoes, well, you need to be responsible. First of all, Your shoes are left out. It's a puppy, right?
Puppies are really a different breed. I mean, you really have to be vigilant. You can't, we had people used to come over. Ed had a lot of very expensive Italian shoes with tassels. By the time the first lab we had got done with the tassels, he had no tassels left on any of his shoes. Because they eat the tassels. That's what they
I,
do.
hey,
And
my dog, the credit cards my dogs ate. I've had to order new credit cards. I
yeah.
forgot I left it on.
And we had a door that went out to a like a gated big stone area where the dog could go out and go to the bathroom. And we called it Poopville. And so every once in a while you couldn't find the baby's bottle, or you couldn't find the baby's binky, or you couldn't find somebody's tassel, or you couldn't find somebody's shoe. And I'd say, go look in Poopville. It's probably out there. And sure enough, there it was. If you don't keep an eye on the stuff, the dog, that's what they're supposed to do. They're baby
Yeah,
labs. That's what they do. So
yeah,
I had signs all over the house, hide your shoes. Don't let, I did. I put signs up for people, but that's all I could do because that's a normal thing. And then she stopped, you know just like the dog I have now. She's a wonderful dog, but she likes to go to the bathroom in the wrong place. When she was little, she liked to. And
yeah,
it's awful. I hate training dogs, but you got to do it.
yeah. You have to do it, but it's almost like disciplining kids.
Hmm.
See, the problem why we have all these radical kids doing stupid things is because you're no longer disciplining kids. When I grew up, nobody was going into schools and shooting people up. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right.
And I think because the laws change, whatever, parents, it's just like it's like letting a dog loose in your house and let it shit and piss all over your place, chew everything up because you're not disciplining them. You're not reprimanding them from doing that. Even when I was teaching all my dogs to not do things, I'd use short one word responses because if you start rambling off, oh, I can't believe you did that, the dog, it's like talking, Latin. It doesn't understand what you're saying. But if there's a word that you say where it's no, okay, for instance, if they would make a mistake on the floor, I'd go no, and I'd put their nose to it, they smell it,
Hmm.
and then I'd take them out. After 3 days, my both dogs were housebroken.
That's
They
awesome.
understood that daddy's unhappy. See, the biggest thing an animal can have is knowing that you're unhappy.
That's right. They don't like that.
Right? So once you do that, but the same thing with your kids. I mean, when people say, "Oh my God, I can't believe my son shot up 10 people in the school." Well, you didn't notice anything in your home? You didn't notice that they're in the room and they're acting strange? Come on. It's just like, for instance, today, when your dog, say, kills a baby or maims someone, you're going to jail too because you should not have let that dog out and knowing that the dog is vicious. So now owners are responsible. And now there's several court cases, like the one in Georgia. The father knew the kid was trouble, gave him the rifle, know he was going to range, and shot up five
That's
kids.
such a horrible story.
Okay, so he's going to jail, which is the way it should be.
Yeah,
Because
it's
if
hard to
you
believe
take
anybody could be
responsibility,
that stupid. Why would you give a gun to a
I mean,
kid?
right, but if you are not gonna take responsibility for your children and they do a violent act, your ass is going to jail. Now, my dogs aren't vicious, and I would never allow them to run without a leash, and I'd always control them when I walk them, but if for some reason someone got hurt and you were negligent, you're gonna be responsible, and
Yeah.
you're gonna be responsible for your neighborhood,
Yeah.
for your
Well,
community.
our neighborhood, I've gotten fines several times because they're nuts here. Because my dog will run out the front door, right? She just
But that happens, what do you
runs
yeah,
out the front door. So I go get whatever I have to go get, and I lock the door up, and I go chase the dog. But if they find her before I find her, and I'm talking 10 minutes, I get a $75 fine.
wow.
Yeah. And I used to live in neighborhoods where people like went, "Oh, look at Lucy, she's out in the front yard. Tanya, your doggy's out in the front," that kind of thing, like a neighbor, not somebody that's trying to fine you, you know. It's just I'm just used to a different kind of mentality. I
Wait,
mean, it's like,
that neighborhood app, that everybody
yeah, next door, I deleted it.
whatever,
I
whatever.
I
So,
liked it for a long time and then I deleted it because people
uh,
started getting mean.
no, no, to get me. I saw this woman. She was taking videos of people that were picking up the dog poop, tying it up in a bag, and putting it in a
That's
the black garbage.
what you're
I'm like,
supposed to do, right?
oh no, she had a problem. She goes, well, that's my garbage. But no, seriously. And then all these other people said, yeah, I found dog poop in my garbage. Well, let me tell you something. When I'm walking my dog
And you
and I
look at
see
your
someone holding the bag and my garbage bin's out there, please throw it in my garbage bin. I'm a courteous neighbor. But
Exactly.
she was doing videos and posting it. I'm surprised they allow her to do it on that app. That's why I don't even look at it anymore. All these nasty people complaining about,
That's why I deleted it because I was tired of reading negative stuff that wasn't about me, but it was negative stuff. You know, the only thing I liked about it were the videos from people's Ring cameras.
oh yeah, there's some of the really funny.
Some of those are so funny. And some of them are real. Did you see the one with the bear?
Oh yeah, yeah, that was
That
cute.
was insane. This is a real big brown bear, just
Yeah,
right up to the camera, you know, over
yeah.
to the door, you know, you can almost hear the
Now,
music.
I think it's only good if you want to sell some junk that you want to get rid of at your house.
Yeah, but then it's inconsistent. People are inconsistent about getting back to you. I've got so much stuff to sell. I had 5 houses. I've got so much stuff to sell. It's ridiculous.
Wow.
I got cages in my garage full of stuff. You know how they put the cages from the
Yeah.
ceiling? It's just I've got a lot of stuff to get
Well,
rid
you
of.
know, the during COVID, I bought all this gym equipment because everything was shut down. So after COVID, I was selling, the treadmill and the benches and the weights and the mats and all that stuff because I go to the gym. You know, I love going to the gym where there's.
What gym do you go to?
I go to Gold's Gym. I go to Equinox. Some other private gyms. I mean,
I need a gym that's fun because the gym at my country club here is very
oh,
boring. There's nobody there.
there's no energy there. It's like when a surfer goes early in the morning and all these other surfers are there riding the
Yeah,
wave.
that's what I want. I want to be with a bunch of other people.
Yeah, you have to go to a gym, but here's the thing is, I always tell people, if you're going to go to a gym and to try it out, go at the time that you normally think you'll go, because you got to remember, in the morning, very early, like from 5 to 8, it's very serious business crowd going there and getting out. Then usually anytime after like 10 to 1, it's usually more like retired people, the housewife that got the sit or whatever is working out. Then in the afternoon, you kind of have like dead zone. And then
Right.
after 5 o'clock, you've got younger millennials uh like this on the bench and sitting on the bench and not wanting you to use it. And even when they do a set, then they sit on the bench. That's when I walk in and like, oh, I have 3 more sets.
You
So
need to
now
write
when
an etiquette book.
So now what I do when I go and I see him texting, I go, excuse me, how many texts do you have left? Not set, text. Okay. And I make them laugh. Then I go, listen, I'm going to work it. And then I got them, right?
I love it. I love it.
But you have to go at the time that you typically think you'd go because there's going to be a different animal when you go in the morning, late morning, mid afternoon, and after 5.
Yeah, the problem
Yeah,
I don't really have a schedule right now and it's been very hard. I like having a schedule. I mean not a self-imposed schedule. I like having a place I'm supposed to be at a certain time.
yeah,
I like having a job.
yeah,
I like that. And
that's
I'd like to have a job. It would be nice. So if I don't get a job soon, then I've got to come up with another plan because I don't like the looseness of the schedule. And for some reason, I think I'm an adrenaline junkie because I'll work it out so that I have to rush. Even if I don't have anything going on from this time to this time, I'll wait until like I have an hour.
so here in Palm Springs.
Huh?
Here in Palm Springs. So what made you go to Palm Springs?
Well, my husband had died, and I got an apartment in LA, and I got a house here, and I wanted the house to be a family home for my children. And but I had the apartment in LA because I thought all my kids are going to move to LA and I'll have a place there and a place here and it'll be great.
Yeah.
Well, it didn't work out like that. Abby went to Manhattan and Bella did live with me in the city in LA for a while, but then she wanted her own place. You know, I had to pay for half of it, but she wanted her own place. So I couldn't keep it, you know.
Yeah.
So because I wasn't working. So for the first 2 years I was here, there was no work. And for the next year, my this year, my union was on strike for 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's been very slow for me, which has never happened before. But I never thought I was going to have to worry about it, or I wouldn't have quit. You know, I was at the top of my game when I quit. I was just been nominated for an Emmy Award and did the nighttime and opening of the nighttime broadcast of the Emmys. Um, you know, I was really popular when I quit, but I quit because I wanted to have children. And it was the greatest thing I ever did. But I never thought I was going to have to hope to get a job back again. And
Yeah.
but we spent a lot on his treatment, and I wouldn't change a thing about that because he was supposed to die in six weeks, and we got him 4 years. He had pancreatic cancer,
Well,
so
you know what? The fact that you were there for him,
for 4 years.
wow,
And that's who I am. So there you go.
sorry to go through
There
that.
you
It's
go. So just so there's gotta be a plan. I just don't know exactly what it is. But anyway, that's why I'm here is because we were going to retire here and I loved it here. And it's quiet and beautiful and wonderful here. But the LA thing is really where I probably need to be.
there is so much happening. Um, like when I go out to lunch or dinner or meetings, whatever, I'm always running into people in the industry,
Mm.
and there's
I don't
always
run into anybody ever.
well, you know, it's so funny when I lived in New York, my
Ever, ever.
when I lived in New York, okay, the typical well, when my neighborhood was half Jewish and half Italian, right?
My favorite. My very favorite.
So my father would say, "Hey, we're not moving to Florida like all the other Italians and the Jews. They want to go there to die, you know, It- right?" And because it was so funny. So my uncle said, "Nah, Vic, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm gonna go to Boca. It's nice. I'm gonna get."
I lived there with Ed. We lived there.
So so he got this condo on this country club but he went down there like when he was like in his early 70s, but he's a heavy guy. And my Aunt Ann was heavy set too. He comes back like a month later and says to my father and me, we're sitting on the porch. He goes, ah, you know, Aunt Ann and I, we saved this money our whole life. No vacations, saved all this money to buy a condo on the golf course. He goes, I'm too fat and old to play golf. I can't lay in the sun. I'm gonna have a heart stroke or get skin cancer. So he said to us, what we should have spent money. We should have went on those vacations. We should have splurged a little bit. And so then he ended up coming back. He bought back the house that he sold. It was
He
so
did
funny because he said, I want to stay back here. Three
in New
weeks
York or in LA?
in New York,
In New
right?
York, yeah.
And 3 weeks later he dropped dead.
Oh,
So then my father, so then I said to my father, you know what? I'm gonna listen to what Uncle Tony said. Live every day like it's your last day. So sure enough, fast track, I was traveling all the world doing all crazy stuff. My father goes, you're still living it's like your last day. Every day's your last day. I said, yeah, but look, you know what? I'm
that's the
happy.
best thing anybody could say to you.
Right. But it was because of what my Uncle Tony said, Mike, save, but also spend and enjoy
Yeah.
whoever's in your life because I got too fat and too old to do anything. I could have been in my prime and having fun, gone through Europe or travel around the country with my wife. And what do I do? I go to Florida. I can't do shit because I can't go out in the heat. I'm going to have a stroke. I'm going to have a heart attack. Same thing with her because she wasn't in great shape. And so that was like my idea. Like when I was talking about the show, I kept thinking about my Uncle Tony. Live well and thrive, right? And so it covers financial. I bring on financial experts. I bring on mental wellness. I bring on celebrity chefs. I
What
bring
do
in
you
people
think? What
that
do you think of? What do you? I don't mean to interrupt you, but what do you think? I know you've got to go. What do you think of what Bobby Kennedy wants to do? What do you think of that?
I support Bobby 100%. I told him I'm whatever I can to help embrace what you're doing. He wants to address all these corporations that are poisoning our water system, our air, everything that's going on with the regulations, with what you can say is on a food label is so covered up. There's so many,
Terrible.
and he wants to cover, but he also wants to address mental wellness.
Mhm.
All this, how many kids are committing suicide? He really cares,
I know.
and his uncle, JFK, was the one that started the Physical President's Council
I
for
know.
fitness. So, it's in his blood.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the man really, really cares.
Yeah.
And if you see him, he's shredded.
Oh, he's so hot. He's hot looking. He's amazing
Oh, he
looking.
looks
I,
fantastic.
he had his shirt off the other day and he was doing push-ups on the deck somewhere. And it's a bit much, but he looked great. And he's trying to get it across to people that it doesn't matter how old you are, you can still look pretty damn great. And he does. I was at his house. I was at his mom's house, Ethel's house. Because Andrew Cuomo was a really good friend of mine and Carrie was married to him. And we had donated to to Andrew's campaign at the time, and we went up there for something, and we stayed at Bobby and Bobby's house, and I couldn't get over how important it was to me. I didn't realize it was going to be important to me until I stayed in the house and saw the old pictures and slept in a bed, and my
Wow.
kids were playing with their kids, and their kids were crazy. The Kennedys are a little bit crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. So Carrie and Andrew's three daughters were there, and my two daughters. And I'm outside and we're by a swing set. And next thing you know, their girls are climbing up the ladder to the slide, but then they're standing on the top of the swing set, like walking it like it's a balance beam.
Oh my God.
And they're like 6 years old, 8 years old. I'm like, they're gonna die. I'm like, you guys got to get down. You got to get down from there. No, this is really fun. I'm like, you don't know what your boundaries are with other people's children. So I had my nanny run and get them, and meanwhile, I talked them down and I said, this is what they do. They just naturally do crazy stuff. They do crazy things. They take off when it's foggy and they go, skiing in the trees. I mean, these are just people that do crazy things.
Well, but I feel it's in the blood
I do
because,
too. I really do. I mean, I saw it myself. These are little kids, and my kids would never get on the top of the thing
well,
like.
Elizabeth, that's when kids end up getting hurt. Oh, when I was 6 years old, I climbed up this swing set and I pretended it was a balance beam. I fell off and I broke my kneecap or whatever. That's how the shit happens. But what this reflects back to me in years ago when I first came to California, I ended up training John.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
And so we became good friends. He was a fucking lunatic.
I'm telling you, I know
Uh,
these.
he
I
had so
know.
many broken bones.
I know it.
He
It's
was a daredevil, was kayaking, mountain biking, and it was so funny. He would only stay at the Hotel Bel Air, and every time he'd go there, he'd rent. His favorite car was a black Mustang convertible, the high performance model,
yeah, I like that too.
and it was a fun. He drove like a psycho, rolled through stop signs. I go, John, you know what we call that? What? It's called the California roll. And he used that line for years. It's a California roll where you kind of roll through.
Yeah, yeah, you roll through the stop sign.
So,
It's not
so
sushi.
I
It's not
remember the
sushi.
first time
Yeah.
I met him at the gym. I said, "You want me to take my car?" He goes, "No, let's take mine. He's got this really tricked out Mustang." So we go to, he said, "I need some workout clothes." I forgot to pack it. So I said, "Well, there's a sports mart over on Sepulveda over here." He goes, "Okay, let's go." The funniest thing was like, and to me, everybody's is equal. I never looked at any of the stars I work with as whether it was Nicole Kidman or Matt Damon or Al Pacino. I just treat them like everybody else, right? Well, we walk into Sports Mart, which was the largest warehouse of sports equipment and sneakers and all that stuff. And the way they just froze because he was tall, he was lean, great looking kid, thick, full hair, that jawline, those piercing eyes. I gotta tell you something. People were like, it was almost like Elvis Presley came back alive, and we walk in there, and he was like, I'm
The
gonna dance.
Red Sea goes like this. Yeah.
Oh my God, the girls were running over and the guys are running over and everybody, and it's the funniest thing to watch. And so every time we'd go somewhere, it was amazing. He commanded people's attention. He
Yeah.
had incredible alpha energy.
Yeah, he
And
did.
but he was a psycho. He was a madman. I would
I'm
challenge.
telling you, I know this type. Because I was around them a lot, and it's
But
just
it's in the blood. The whole family's out of their mind.
yeah, they're a little out of their mind. Yeah, they're a little out of their mind. And so I know that they're going to take chances that my family wouldn't take, but mom was always afraid we were going to get hurt, so I wasn't really allowed to do anything. So that's why I didn't do anything wrong till I was 16, and then I went sort of off the deep end for a while. But I came back.
Hey, listen, we all have our moments when we're
Yeah,
young.
I sort of went
Right?
off the deep end for a minute, from 16 to like, I don't know, 23 or something. It was a little bit crazy, but I learned, that I needed to get back to straight and narrow. But my gosh, I do laugh at those people because they're exciting. They're exciting people. You just have to make sure you don't get too close and don't be in the car when
Yeah,
they
you
do a
make it.
California roll. You don't want to be
Yeah.
hit by no T-boning or anything.
No,
So
but
what's the next step with your president's council on fitness, sports, and nutrition? What's your next?
I was invited to go to the inauguration
Where
at
is in DC?
in DC at the White
Oh
House.
my
And
God, I'm
then,
so jealous. I am
yeah,
so jealous. I have never been to an inauguration. I've been to
so
so
I'm
many.
going to be taking meetings with various different individuals in the different divisions for health, wellness, and the school districts and all that. And I'm speaking to other notable people that I want to bring on the board. We have to
Awesome.
have a board, it has to be team effort,
Mhm,
and just I'm enjoying the moment,
mhm. Good, good.
and
My
doing
dad
something
would,
really good for our future generations. We have to set an example for these kids.
that's right.
I think it's important. So I'm looking to do something at the White House lawn. I work with several of the very largest organizations that with inner city kids. I want to work on bringing thousands and thousands of kids on the White House lawn and doing a whole day of health, wellness, and fitness for the kids.
That'd be a blast. You
And
got to
then bring on all
have
these
some good
top
music.
people.
Have some good music there.
Right, get dance and yoga,
Yep.
meditation, and then we could do a boot camp workout. We could do obstacle course challenges. We even bring your pets and do pet fitness,
I'm trying to find, yeah, that's a great idea. I'm trying to find this man. I want you to know him. Um, he's telling me about this. Oh, that's so funny. There- Yeah, he's talking about the inauguration, the only big event that's happening, because he wants me to come to something in Phoenix the same weekend I'm taking the kids to Manhattan. But all the people that I want to work with are going to be in Phoenix the same weekend I'm going to be there, but I just can't cancel on my children. Okay, so this man is Chuck. He's got a show. Turning Point USA is Charlie Kirk. And this is called America First 2024, and it's in Phoenix, Arizona. And Chuck's show is something that you should be on. So I'll give you all the information about
Great, thank you,
um,
appreciate it.
because it's just there's so many things. I mean, there's this thing. Um, what is this one? I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be doing this, but Freedom lives here. Inside the Square, that's the name of his show, is Inside the
Oh, well, I'll
Square.
check that
And
out.
he does it out of Chicago, and, Moms of Liberty and all of the organizations that are important right now that have really come a long way and fought tooth and nail, uphill battles for the past 4 years to get things to turn around. And I mean, people everywhere worked really hard to turn things around.
Yeah.
It was frightening, you know, especially with the fentanyl coming in and all the drugs coming in and the 300 and some thousand children that are lost that nobody knows where they are. And you know, all the trafficking, and I mean, it's just enough to break your heart. So I just feel like there's some hope, and I know that I live in a place where nobody agrees with me, but more people agree with me than you think.
Um,
Like 72 million people at least agree with me.
there
And
you go.
you know, and I'm just aware of how bad it was, and I don't think everybody was. And I was aware of how bad it was. And you know, the 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 little girl's underwear that was on the trees, that was like left on the trees down there on their way up to the border as a trophy for the guys that raped the little kids. You know, they put their underwear on the
Yeah.
trees. I saw that. It made me throw up. It made me absolutely sick. I've got two little girls. Um, I just the whole way that it was ignored so long, it just broke my heart, you know? And so that was my main motivation. And I didn't care if Trump said bad words. I didn't care if Trump said something mean. I didn't care. This is what we're talking about. Little girls that are getting hurt and raped and killed and kidnapped and poisoned and dying.
Yeah.
You can hurt my feelings. You can say something nasty. If you're going to do something about that, then I'm for you. And that's all there is to it. And I got canceled for things like that. I don't care. You know, I care more about my ultimate place in heaven than I do about but whether somebody thinks I'm bad or not here. It's just not that important.
Well, the problem is, because if whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Republican, Independent, Democratic, they'll discriminate you just because of your political belief, as people will demonstrate the color of your skin or your religion. It's terrible. If you believe in a certain political party, you have every right to do that. And it drive me crazy in LA because if you weren't for Kamala Harris, people were being like ignored and looked over, and I just said, "This is terrible." So whenever I go out, I just say to everybody, if I'm holding a dinner party, no politics, because you people take it too serious, and we shouldn't have any negativity when we're out to have a good time. And
Mhm,
people loved it. And I would do my regular dinners at different restaurants and stuff, and they later on said to me, "Mike, I'm glad you did that." 'Cause
mhm.
I got pretty wrapped up, especially towards the end, when they had
What
the
I'm talking about, I can't not care about. What I'm talking about is like it's not I want to talk about it. I want people to know about it. I want people to do something about it. I want this to stop, right? So it's like so you have to pretend like it's not going on, which is what most people did. But I'm not very good at that. So you know, so I talked about it and I just but that's what got me invited to the convention, you know, and I talked to a lot of people that were that were encouraging to me about what can be done about it and what's going to be done about it. Now, I don't think that they should ever deport people that have been in this country a long time and have been adding to the national to our prosperity and who have family here and all that. That's those people need to stay, and we need to make a faster way for them to become citizens.
I think that's what the plan is so far, but from what I'm gathering from all the conversations I had with representatives, so I think they really wanna stop the drugs, the rapists, those criminals, and make sure that stops because they're part of that sex trade and all this harmful drugs that are coming into our country. But again, I like the attorney general. I like how we have Bobby in there, and other notable people that really passionate about making a difference and saving lives and are doing it.
So
So,
is Elon Musk. I think he's a really cool
oh,
guy.
he's
He
He's,
amazes me. He
you
amazes me.
know, I just say, you know what? Give them a chance.
Yeah,
'Cause I tell you, you're right. Elon Musk is right there, and with his technology and his influence, he can make a lot of things happen.
that's right.
So I always tell people, all right, I know you're not crazy about Trump, but the man's in office now. Let's see what he does.
Yeah.
Okay?
Just
Give him
don't
a
get in
chance.
his way. I don't want them to get in his way and keep him from doing what everybody elected him to
Well,
do.
look at Gavin Newsom. Already he's trying to pound his chest. I'm going to make it hard for him. You are a selfish prick. That's what I would say.
That's what
Why
I
would
mean.
you get in his way?
That's exactly what I mean. It's like hateful. It's
Let-
horrible.
Let's work to let's work together,
Right.
right? It's so funny. So one of my interviews with what was with Chuck Zito. Chuck Zito was the head of the Hells Angels in New York chapter for
Really?
25 years. Chuck is one of uh, President Trump's closest friends for over 35
It's
years.
good to be friends with the Hells Angels. Let me tell you, I've got a story, so I'll tell you that sometime.
But no, we'll definitely do it on the next interview. But so Chuck came on my show 3 times. He talked about how he went to every rally with him and how the attempt on his life, it was negligent with the cops and the sheriff department and the Secret Service. How did they not know the guys on the roof? How can you not? So we talked about all that, but of course he adamantly would say, "Oh, Kamala Harris, she's not qualified to be president." But so he had this tension. So the third time Chuck came on my show, I had moved into this beautiful studio in Beverly Hills here in Wilshire. And my when you come into my building, my studio's to the left, to the right was Kamala Harris's presidential campaign office.
Oh no.
So I'm going, this is going to be quite interesting. So here's Chuck.
Yeah.
Has head Hell's Angel comes in with his leather on and everything. And I didn't say anything at first, and he goes, "What's this?" I go, "Oh, that's Kamala Harris's headquarters."
Kamala.
Kamala Harris, yeah, Kamala. So, so he goes, "Let's go." I go, "What do you mean, let's go?" He goes, "Let's go in there. I have a few things I want to say to her."
Oh no.
So now we walk in there.
You did?
No, no, we did. We walked in there, and thank God she had just left through the front door to take Vans with her for a rally she was doing in Arizona. Just left because
Ah, shucks.
someone in the hallway said, "Yeah, she left with her caravan of people doing a rally in Arizona." And I went,
Was
so of course,
right.
I took some pictures of him in her office, and there was a cereal box with a picture on it, and he's walking around like, "Ah." So when we did the interview and I edited the footage, I showed clips of him in the office. It was hysterical.
I
But
bet it.
even Chuck said to me, because you know what? I get it maybe a little crazy, but she goes, you know what? I'm just so loyal to Trump. I mean, she could talk all she wants, but there's no way she's going to win. And he was right about it. But I let him speak his piece. And some of the people were writing and saying, "Well, if you have people like Don on, you're going to lose, followers." I go, "Well, I don't want them if they're going to judge me. I let people come on, and if they have a political opinion of a candidate, they have a right to share it. I just listen. I ask questions." They share with me. We don't talk about politics the whole time on the show. We talked about how he first got into the Hells Angels, what it was like. How did you get out? Things that are intriguing.
Did he
And
get out?
yeah, he got out. He left. He had to give up his colors. That the leather jacket, Hells Angels. You can't keep that. You have to retire your colors. You have to give it back to them. It's a club. So, but he's a very interesting guy, but I let him speak his piece. But I was like neutral. You come on my show, Switzerland. I brought on people that were for Kamala Harris. I had Ron Perlman from Sons of Anarchy, and Hellboy. Oh, he adored Kamala Harris,
I know. I know a lot of
right?
people.
So I brought on everybody because
70 million people did. There's a lot of people that did.
right, right. So I just like to let people know you have every right to believe in what you want to believe. but don't discriminate because of some belief, whether it's religion or the color of your skin or your political preference. And that's what I try to share on my show is be fair, be honest,
It
and
doesn't have
people
anything to
stop.
do with your acting ability, doesn't have anything to do with your writing ability, doesn't have anything to do with your musical ability. It's just this in your soul, it's something in your heart, and you have to sort of honor what's in your
I
heart.
mean, there was a long time for where Sly had to, his publicist said, hey, Michelle Vega was saying, look, you can't say your political opinions because this is Hollywood. you know? And then now at the end that he moved back to Florida, he's like, hey, he doesn't give a shit, right? But at one point, he was getting mad at his brother Frank because Frank is very much,
I definitely.
pro-Trump, of course. And he's like, Frank, you gotta calm them down. You don't understand, they're all gonna be against you. And it's a shame because it's like it's like being part of a country club where everybody's discriminated. And it's a shame that you have to walk around and hide your feelings.
Now,
And
Is Tulsa King still on? It is, right?
it is amazing. It's the number one show on Paramount.
Mm.
Sly is right now working with Terrace Winter, writing season 3, season 4.
Wow.
He's loving it. He's having a great time. They filmed in Atlanta. He goes, Mike, you ever been to Tulsa? I go, yeah. I won Collegiate Mr. USA in the Oklahoma State University. I've been over in Tulsa. He goes, there's nothing going on. It's dead. There's nothing.
I can just hear him saying that.
Yeah. So they filmed it in Atlanta and they did exterior shots of Tulsa, but everything was in the studio and outskirts of Atlanta where they filmed.
I
And
love
that's
Atlanta. Love
because
Atlanta.
he goes, I'm not going back to Tulsa. For 5 months he had to film.
Mhm.
That's a long time, right? So,
It is.
but no, he's so excited. Then he brought in my buddy Frank Grillo.
Oh, I
He
know Frank. I know.
plays the mob boss, and Frank came on my show. He talked what it was like to be on the show with Sly, and I remember when Sly was first talking about, hey, I want to bring on Grillo. He'd be a perfect mob boss. So it was great to be part of the process and then see
Yeah,
the
I
thing.
bet. I bet. I worked in his office. He didn't know me, but I worked when I was a kid in the Cobra office when they were making that little movie there.
Oh, wasn't it a great movie?
Yeah, it was. It was.
He's talking about possibly doing another one.
Oh, wow. That'd be awesome.
He had that car, and
Oh,
then he
he
said,
did. Yeah, he
oh
did.
my God, that car was badass.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to meet him. I've never met him. I've met so many people, but I've never met him.
You know what? He comes out, he stays at one of the regular hotels, and he sold his house to Adele,
Mhm. I didn't know that. That's
and yeah, she bought the house, and he got upset because she knocked it down. She said it was too much alpha, too much Stallone.
Oh, that would hurt my
But
feelings
no, he was
too.
so upset. It
That
was
would
amazing.
hurt my
You
feelings 'cause you
know
put
how
your
many
whole life into this
Christmases,
place.
New
Oh,
Year's Eves, holiday parties
yeah,
spent there with the family.
yeah.
It was sad. She
Mhm.
just the wrecking ball, boom,
Oh,
knocked it down. But she kept his Rocky statue, which he didn't wanna give her.
I bet
And she
not.
said, "If you don't give me the statue, I'm not buying a house." Of course,
Mhm.
he included, right? But, she knocked it all down. It was a magnificent house,
Sure it was.
and he had renovated the whole house,
Hmm.
and she's just, like, bulldozed it down.
She has too much money. If you don't have that much money, you wouldn't do that, right? But if you have so much money, you can take a perfectly fabulous house and knock it down.
Well, what's so funny is that lot that Sly had was the biggest lot in Beverly Park.
Mm.
When he bought it, it was like $280,000 or something.
My gosh,
Now,
forget it.
no, but he had the best view, the high part of Beverly Park overlooking the mountains in the
Wow.
distance. Magnificent, right? And, God, I mean, there's so many celebs that still live there. So it's kind of nice,
But
but
some of them are moving away. Ellen left.
yeah, Sophia Vergara moved. Eddie Murphy has the biggest house over there now.
He
It's huge.
does?
Oh,
God
yeah.
darn.
He made a fortune. He got back end with Beverly Hills Cop.
Mhm.
That's where he made the bulk of his money. The
Yeah,
back end.
and he just did it again. I mean, he was just on it just happened again.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Beverly
Is
Hills Cop, whatever number it was, recently was like last year came out.
Yeah, yeah,
And he was
yeah,
playing the same part,
yeah.
Axel. playing the same part. It
And,
was
it did well. It
it
did
was
really
great. It
well.
was fun to see.
I know, and the cast members, it was
Yeah,
so good to see
it
that,
was
yeah,
really fun to see. I loved it. Everybody loved it, you know? There's
yeah.
some things that are just timeless, and some
Arnold's been talking about doing twins, but, too much time has gone by.
think so, and now Danny DeVito, I just read today, is 80. I think his birthday's today.
Is it really?
Yeah, I think so. I just read that.
But, the way they had planned to do twins, I spoke to him not too long ago, is it was gonna be Arnold and Danny DeVito, and then Eddie Murphy would be the 3rd brother. They would
Brother from another mother?
right, and,
Oh,
so
that would have
I don't
been
know I don't know
funny.
how they were planning to do that, but what happened was I think it was Warner Brothers owned it, and they wanted too much money
Ah,
to for the rights to it, so they killed it.
yeah.
But, I was like, "Well, why did you wait so long?"
Yeah.
If it's a period of time, I mean, like, look at Sex and the City.
Mhm.
The new version lost its magic. This
Yeah,
it's
it did.
heartbreaking 'cause I used to love that show because
Oh,
I
we did.
trained
Everybody
to
loved it.
go for the show,
I saw that.
right?
Yeah.
So, I had a special connection there, but now it's not the same, it's depressing.
Mm. Seen it in
When
a
the
long
girls would
time.
be together, you'd, like, see them out with meeting guys and having fun and putting on cute outfits. Now they're complaining about, I don't feel good, and, "Oh, now I want a woman, not a man," and
Oh,
it's
jeez.
oh god. That
Don't
flipped me
change
up.
that. Don't change that part of it. I mean, that is true for Cynthia Nixon, but it wouldn't have been true for her character, I don't think. She was
No, the way her character was, that they had a beautiful relationship there,
yeah,
they
they
had their
really did.
moments, but it was real. It made you feel real, and then all of a sudden she had no chemistry with that other woman.
Mm-mm.
She was kind of manly looking. It
Mhm.
didn't go with her character, and the one you fell in love with all those years, and the poor guy who was a really great actor, and there was great chemistry between them, just poof, gone. I don't know, I just said, "Wow, they took something that they should have retired, left it alone,
Mhm.
and then they kill off Mr. Big because of that."
That was terrible.
That was terrible.
Everybody loved
My
him.
he's a wonderful man. I've known him for so many years.
Sad.
Wonderful
It
man.
happens on my show. I mean, it happened when I went back to General Hospital. They we had this fabulous storyline, and when they brought me back, they changed my whole character. She wasn't the same person at all. And the arc that I had completed, the character arc I'd completed, they pretended like I hadn't completed it. And so they had me go back and act crazy and obsessed with Duke again. And she'd already grown way past that.
Oh,
And it's a shame. It's a shame. You have to honor history when you bring people back from different things. You need to honor the history because the audience remembers. Even though I mentioned it to the producer, and he said most of the people that were watching the show when you were on it are dead now, Tanya.
no.
It's a tough business, Mike. It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah. You people are not always nice to you. I said, "Oh, is that right? Okay, then. Never mind." Um,
It's so funny, I was speaking to Sean, how I had to memorize the 7 pages. He
mhm,
goes, "Mike, how about 60 to 70 pages?"
yeah, yeah.
I gotta give it to you. Being in a soap opera, all those pages you have to memorize. That's a gift. I don't know how you can remember all that and hit those marks.
Yeah.
Wow. It's incredible.
Yeah, you usually don't have 60 pages a day. You usually have like 25. And if you know your character and what your character is thinking, which is the way I memorize things, then you know what they would say. So you memorize what they would be feeling and what they would be thinking and how
Right,
they
instead of just the
feel in
word.
the scene. And then the words, if they're written anywhere decent, make sense. So it would just be, that's how I've always done it. But my daughter has a part on something called Galatea TV. It's on YouTube, and she did the series. It's a vertical series they call them. I guess kids are watching 2 minutes, and then they're watching the next 2 minutes, and the next 2 minutes, or whatever,
Yeah, they're doing these webisodes.
like
So
in line.
yeah, so they'll shoot
or on the
one
bench.
one episode, and they'll cut it up into 2-minute episodes. So
Yeah. They're
one
sitting on the
episode is
bench at
big.
the gym watching it, like you're saying, waiting when you're waiting for the bench.
Yeah,
But she got asked to do the sequel, so she's getting ready to do that. So I'm
that's
sure.
good.
She's,
Fantastic.
yeah, it is.
Is she the only one that's taking up acting?
Yeah, my other daughter, Adriana works, she's the global client coordinator for NBC in New York.
Oh, wow.
But she's considering moving out here, so I'm so excited. She wants to be more in production. She's really good at what she does, but it's all in front of a computer screen all day. And she's every bit as talented as Bella and I are. She just doesn't want to ever be poor. That's what she
Yeah,
said.
I don't blame her.
I can't be poor, Mom. I'm like, I can't be poor either. I never was. That's why I wasn't going to do this for a living. I just worked all the time. If I thought it was going to be something that I couldn't make money in, I wouldn't have kept at it. But anyway, so she's very happy. It's just that she is in New Jersey too much and she's in front of a screen too much. So she needs to have an opportunity to be, even if it's anything with a script, anything with production, anything on the set, anything like that, she'd be happy with.
Yeah, I'll let you know because I'm dealing with a lot of people with production companies.
She's a brainiac. She graduated from SMU in 3 years and she got her master's in 9 months. She's really, really smart.
Wow.
She looks like me, but a lot younger and and she's just really funny, 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 fun to be around, very conscientious. Um, doesn't like LA because people get up too late, um, don't have a work ethic. What are her other complaints? But she's changing her tune now that she's out here. But she has always said, that she doesn't like the fact that people, get up so late and they don't work so hard and they're not, like this. She likes that New York thing.
Well, that's being in New York is great for her because that's like basic training.
Mm.
Because when you're in New York, you're in that fast-paced, aggressive mode. You come out here, you're right. People like, yeah, let's have breakfast at 11. Like,
Yeah.
11. Lunch at 12,
She
right?
really hates that a lot. She
Yeah,
really,
no, I hate that shit. Like sometimes I'll run into someone and say, "Hey man, let's have lunch." I go, "What's your schedule? Let's plan it now," because the lunch never happens. I'd rather
oh,
say, "Good to see you." That's it. But don't tell me let's do something when you don't really mean it.
that's
You know,
right.
that's that phony thing. But in New York, if someone likes you, you know it, and if they don't like you, you definitely know it because there's no filter,
And they
right?
don't ask you out to lunch and blow you off. They
No.
just don't ask you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why, her being in New York is great. Now, when she comes back here, she's ahead of the curve. She's getting up before everybody else. She's working later than everybody else, and she can appreciate the beautiful weather,
Yeah.
right? And the healthy environment and being close to her mom.
Yeah, I hope that works out because I'd love to have that. I'd love to have that happen.
Yeah, that's great.
Well, I'm gonna let you go because I know that you've got this call you said with them down there.
Yeah, yeah, I've got to jump on in a couple minutes, but
All
thank
right.
you for the opportunity to be on your show. I loved it.
I could talk to you for hours.
I know. I feel like we know each other for a long time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this a lot. So I
I
think
did
the
too.
viewers will just eat it up. And you got to come back and tell me what your next steps are and what you're
I
doing.
will, well, I'll come back after the inauguration. I'll talk about a
I
little bit.
hope I see you there. I don't know how I'm going to get
I
there,
hope.
but I might get invited. It's possible. So we'll see. I just am so excited for you because this is going to be a whole chapter of your life. You're going to love it.
Yeah, well, thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome. Thank you. Okay, I'll talk to you soon, I hope. Keep in
All right.
touch. Oh,
Soon.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
God bless. How fabulous was that? I just loved that interview. I loved meeting Michael Sutton. Can't wait to see him in real life. And this was really fun. And I wanted to make sure that you knew that you could look for his wife's Silks brand, the clothing brand that he and his wife have. It's called lakrisbrand.com, lakris.com. And I'm very excited about you having the opportunity to look at these clothes because it's just beautiful stuff. Also, he's a big time real estate agent in Beverly Hills. If you're looking for something fabulous there, look him up. And Like and subscribe if you don't mind, if you liked the show, and tell your friends. Write any comments that you have to me, and I will answer you as best I can. Have a wonderful day. Get ready for the holidays. Enjoy it. This is a joyous time of year. God bless. Take care. Bye bye.